Rumble family universe. Alan again here with our portal to amazing health and open hearts and open minds. As I'm officially starting the name for my channel, I've had the name all along, I just haven't been using it. So I guess now it's more personalized, where before I wanted a more personalized approach. Anyway, it's good to be doing this because this, if you've been watching, and thank you for those that have been paying attention, is my second video for today. It's good to see that people can pay attention to you, and that your message is reaching others, across the divide. So we do need to reach out to each other. We do need more of that community, even though society is telling us otherwise, by design. So what I wanted to start with, I just start, and then it just flows. That's the beauty of it. Tonight's the full moon, the March full moon. So got that big citrine cathedral out in the fresh moonlight moonbeams. If you have precious minerals and or crystals, specimen or otherwise types, put them in that. I've got I already told you, but my wooden TV tray full of all of them, in the backyard, and it's going to soak it up directly. And it's the lesser light, just as it's spoken of in the Bible. You have your lesser light and your greater light. Anyway, you can get more into that with the Kabbalah, but that's mysticism, and society cast a downcast look upon that, among other things that they tend to name as cultish. If you find out things are what they are and you just use what's given, I don't see how it could be cult-like, unless you're making some magic ritualistic thing out of it. Then it's different, right? At least in my point of view. So it's just relaxing. I've got the message to make sure I just relax tonight. If you wanted to call that your zodiac for the day, as in Aries, it's mine. What's yours? But yes, because you cannot depend on anyone else for your success. Lifewave, because you cannot depend on anyone else for your success. The space within is sacred. So we've touched on this, but this is something you can improve on day by day. Remember, the only real progress is the gradual, or sometimes known as slow progress. I'm human. I want that instant pop, I need that instant dopamine gratification, if you will. Or at least that's what we tell ourselves. If you can work on patience, you can stretch yourself. You can grow through that stretching of yourself into the man and woman of God that He has for us to be. And it's a beautiful thing. As I was telling the nice young lady on Telegram earlier, who helped me to put together the networking channel that is Rumble, I took it steps further. I've got it connected to local. I've got it connected to YouTube. So if you're on either of those, come on over to Rumble. Okay, you won't be censored there. You'll probably have less cut out. I probably need to pay more attention to what's going on with those, but I really care about the message and just going in one direction right now. Perhaps that's for a later date and time to pay more attention to that. But as for now, it's what you're focused on, and if your focus is not refracted, pure, that's what you need to have, because you cannot depend on anyone else. So that purity is what you will see through to the future, and you'll keep doing it, and it becomes not a ritual. It becomes the routine of your existence, of your being, not a doing. Because the more you get in the way of yourself is the more doing that you do. I know it sounds contradictory in a lot of sense. That's because you're programmed, but yeah, you'll find out that it's not you that's doing the doing if it is totally pure anyway. It's wonderful. It's a magnificent feeling, if ever there was a feeling. So anyway, what I wanted to, yeah, just depend on that primal source of power. And that comes from within and no one else but yourself. And please give Lifewave a try. I'm not trying to beg. I'm coming from the sense that it's going to do you the biggest favor if you just try it. You don't even have to subscribe to a monthly thing. Just try it and see, and use it in your day to day, night to night. Um, I'm going to start using more of them. As it is, I use about 7 of the 11 patches total. The next one I'll want to start with is the Alavita patch, as I've stated in one of my previous podcast. It's because that's going to even help more to decalcify your third eye. There are toxins, there are things, that get in the way. They put in us, and your biblical eye inside of your cerebellum is going to be the thing that determines your future and your focus, and it is going to let you see the future that you want to see in your own life, to put it succinctly. Make sure that you're not letting things get in the way. People, places, and things can do that. We're here for a dream. God hands us that dream, but it's up to us to water it, cultivate it, and make sure it grows into the garden that is meant for us to grow it into. You have to tend the garden. That's, to me, the true Eden, with the true marriage to the Lamb. If people had marriage, they had it for a reason. Well, at the beginning of that marriage, goes with any marriage. I've certainly strayed my course, but we learn. This is the only way that we truly learn, is to fall down, fail, get back up, get up on the horse, fend off the pressures that will pull you this way and that way, the ebbs and flows and tides of life. And sooner or later, what you'll come to find out is you are in your own space. You'll find out that no one's making you turn this way and that, to and fro, but yourself, and the influence to cause it to yourself. But the responsibility, yes, is on your shoulders. It's yourself that's straying off the course, taking away from that focus, getting you away from that success and focus needed to get into that success that is near and dear to you, that is near and dear to me. I'm not, I'm still humble. If I sound like I'm trying to come across, I'm not, like using big words or anything. So don't have to worry, okay? Your success is my success. My success is your success. If you believe in that sort of thing. I think it's what we were originally intended to. I could be wrong or off base there. Feel free to correct me if you feel I'm wrong. Had an outstanding day today. You try a few things, with breakfast. You try a few things with the routine. Like right now, the only exercise that I'm using is my nature walk every day. And that way I'm doing less, hence the stripped down approach, which is going to allow me to let God shine through. Not in any abrasive way, not in any way that is contradicting anyone else or going against anything. You gotta let it grow before you harvest it, right? Oh, what else can we talk about here? These are all good things, If you, let's see, the reason, excuse me, that Lifewave came to me, just to broach that subject again, is because I am by my very nature a person of faith. My sign is fire. That means that my meaning in life is derived from that passion. That passion is giving that warmth, that light, or allowing others to see, however you choose to view it, to others and seeing what they do with it, unto themselves, of course. But if you are putting things out and that's your positivity, what goes around comes around. I want success just like the next guy or gal. I'm not going to sacrifice my morals, my beliefs, or my standards for anything or anyone. It's clear and as day and simple as that, really. So why not give yourself the best shot you possibly can? Not by the so-called doing, not by the work, the so-called work. Man's work is not God's work. Let me say it again. Man's work is not God's work. You don't have to do anything in, you know, um, intentionally or otherwise, if it's not a substrate of God's plan originally, to make a mass appeal. Do you follow my meaning? It should come through it. Everything should be organic, is all I'm trying to convey. And so this is great. I'm stretching it because I'm not really tired. I have great energy, and that's because of the changes I've overgone, come through, and the diet change. And soon I won't be eating eggs either. I'm kind of tapering off. I did, was it 4? I can't remember if I had Sunday or not. Um, Maybe not. Yeah, no, I planned it that way. So that would be 4 this week. So maybe next week I'll do 3, which I should probably do Sunday, Tuesday, and Thursday have eggs. And the other day is just the mean green power smoothie. Every day have that, with or without. So, and then from there I'll do 2 for the week, and then the next week 1. And I could clear as day just stop like that. And oh boy, you get rid of so much that you don't actually know that you have going on up here in this temple by being the force that you're allowing God to be in your temple. I'm thinking too much. Anyway, all we can do is be our best man or woman of God. And wow, lo and behold, it's like 15 minutes in, it's getting better and better. Upwards and outwards. You choose to follow a path, and you see others along the way. You discern. You learn. You fall off the horse, get back on, and you get your hands dirty, your feet dirty. Hopefully, not the feet dirty too much, because that means something else. Hopefully, that you're not partaking in things that will corrode you of this world. So leave it off. Do it now. Do what is the best for you. And what it doesn't have to feel right to be right. I think is the most important thing to attach to that. Because the best things we learn from don't go with our feeling, they cut across our feeling. And then that long-term growth can spiral out a slightly different direction where it was already going, and I'm trying to envision this and put the picture out the best I can, instead of just one direction, and you're thinking in more ways than you thought before, and you're giving yourself abilities. You're accruing your own abilities. I always try to think of something different to say. That's why the pauses. Again, we're all human here. We're all growing, changing through the battles, and getting better. I certainly am glad that I am, and I hope you are too. And I can't wait to get back into the body of believers that was so near and dear to me. Just the confession that each and every time that I did leave in the past from the Seventh Day Adventist church attendance, it was on me. It was on not anything else. So that's between me and God. You know, if you make your decisions, make them for God once and for all, and you'll learn, just like I have been, that you don't want to be in any other graces than His. You'll see to it that the path you're laying is going to be the path laid for others that you don't even know about, and it hits home because you want to leave a legacy. Whereas a lot of this earth is just earthiness, is just, you know, it's the gift given that we corrected all of that stuff, which is true. That's from the Bible. But you want to leave behind something better than you found. You really, really do, or you ought to. Um, and if you don't, you're only on a superficial level, I think. And so much of this world, it tends to the feelings, it tends to sensations, and that's where the devil traps you. That's where you fall into a pit. If not now, not a couple steps down the road, maybe a mile down the road, maybe not even so far. It's always something to take you by surprise, just like God will always take you by surprise. So, not to make the podcast serious on this one. I just we're all learning. You know, we're all learning ourselves. Some of us choose to admit it, some don't. I'm trying to put all my cards on the table so that I can move forward peacefully in the right way in this life. Whereas before, it was just do, do, do. It was just, I'm going by this manly pride. I'm going by this pride of life, it's also called. You'll hear it called in the book. Crack that thing open once in a while. You'll be glad you did. I'm going to start reading it in morning and night. I was just in the morning. Psalms is always the best place to start. You'll find, like I was telling you about 3 podcasts ago, that you can relate to just about every item, every general meaning that's in every phrase and every stanza. It puts those steps in your own life. It paints the picture, the living artistry, if you will, of what your life has been. What you've actually made it. Yeah. And so, getting near and dear to God's heart, He knows when you are getting closer to Him, and He sends His guidepost, His guide lamp, and He lets you walk by His light, and you can see where you're going then. And if you happen to bump into someone else, you can share that light, hopefully, make a positive impact on their life for the kingdom's sake. Because once you want to start walking in the kingdom, you don't want to stop. You don't want to get thrown out again. And if you've seen what you've seen, and you know what you know, then doesn't it stand to reason that you want to make sure that your Savior is more near than before? More near at this instant than it had been steps before. So try to follow in those steps of Christ. Of course, they're much smaller in scope than His, but I believe, brothers and sisters, that we are types of Christ. He actually uses His words to describe that. So if you feel like you're up against the world, as often we do, you can always fall back on what His love for us has done. I'm not getting emotional. That's not what we do. It's not what we're here to do. Just being real is a whole different dimension. The kingdom is a whole new dimension. And isn't it true? So all I can say is I know what certain things have done for me, and I know that there are certain servants of God that have brought forth certain tried and true. You can call it technology. That doesn't mean it has to be silicon and wires or any kind of metal, because the best technology is the least material. Simple as that. So the Lifewave patches are in essence that, and you can take it to the bank because it's meant, it's designed fundamentally to work with our anatomies, um, with our blood, and with the different things like peptides in our blood, the copper peptides and the other things, oxygen. You've got your other helpers in there, you can study on that if you like. There are videos, if you go on the website, that I posted in there about 3 times. I wanted to say 2 times, but 2 times at the very top, you'll see, reading in the description. And I'm not asking or requesting anyone to leave me anything. It's nice to converse if you wanted to chat. I'd be more than joyed in responding to yours, starting any kind of action, reaction, response. So just let it layer in, let things come slowly. Don't let things be forced, and keep things organic, and you will grow just as strong as the strongest of plants, just like the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, hence the human kingdom. God's kingdom can follow through, right? Here we are, 20 minutes in. Why am I counting? I guess I'm looking at the passage of time thinking, wow, what a difference you're making in the kingdom, Lord. Because it is all due back to Him. Every bit of good, every ounce that you attain for yourself. We want to make it our pride. We want to make it our steps. And we want to say, I did this. I did that. I have something finally or not finally to be proud of, quote unquote. So, good things. It's not on any negative note, not at all in the least. Quite the contrary. I'm looking forward to tomorrow, another close to another week, and another start of Sabbath, a good day of the Lord's rest that He's given us. He made the world, so I'm going to trust the original way He set it up, and that's what He set it up as. Even if the dimension of Adam and Eve is sealed away from us, it still exists there. Even if some of us, I know that some can, some can't. That actual location I'm talking about too, you won't actually see it from overhead. That's one of the things I've come across learning about it. Actually, through someone that is a light warrior that is worked with Jason Shurka, known as Ray, but he doesn't give his real name and he disguises his voice. And I've actually learned from different other sources too that the original attempt at God's kingdom still exists, but that flaming sword was put there and for a reason. God has His intentions set, His best intentions for man, and they usually start with don't. Or if you do, you're not going to again because you will feel it. So, yeah. Again, not to get too serious, but there are serious things. There are such serious things that man and woman of God, we should all be so blessed to have come across and to learn of. And that's the golden knowledge. I'm trying to think of ways to make these longer. This is the second for the day, but I want to give you quality at the same time. So, I can tell you a few of the um, light warriors that I actually follow. I choose to call them that. Ralph Smart, okay, one of the last ones. Anthony the Witness. You can just look him up on YouTube. I don't know his last name, but Anthony the Witness. He's an older, mature gentleman that is really not stuck in his ways, but set in the good ways and not set in any bad excuse for ways. Let me put it that way. Anthony the Witness. And then you've got Michael Jaco, right? That's a very experienced light warrior, coming from being a combat warrior, elite of the elite. I'll say that from what I understand. If you know anything about the Navy SEALs, he was the elite of the elite. Now he's the best of the best with Lifewave. and he's doing it right. He's got his Zoom group meeting down called Miracle Mondays, as you know, I'm sure, because you guys are watching me. Thank you, by the way, for letting me come across to you. I would like to have you come across to me. I believe in that. I'm not that type of leader. I believe leadership comes from the examples that are passed on and that are filtrated and that people put their own mix on. And that's how innovation comes about, springs about. We tend to think so often that it's got to be this way because I'm the individual. It's got to be mine, mine, me. And I think that's why there have been so many failures, um, family life related. I can relate wholeheartedly with that. I have none left. I want to say I've took it upon myself to pride myself on not, endeavoring to start in that way, but it's really God's endeavor. So it's none of my effort, if that makes sense. If not, it's fine. So be it. Think what you will of me. Um, I'm not in a dream state. If you feel like that's what you want to be in or want to believe someone else is too, I'm digressing. Yeah, but I digress. Yeah, and if you wanted to, you could, do something good for someone and see how that works. If you want to do something innovative, I mean, just try it out, experiment, especially if you're in the body of Christ and if you have a group of friends there. Um, you can see what they think of it going from one to the other, presenting that idea. And there, the originator of the idea would be more respected anyway. So it wouldn't be lost on you. Um, and that's a fun experiment to try. I can't wait to get back in the body of Christ. And I've tried mentioning this to Lifewave. I think most of the sheep are asleep. And I say sheep in the good sense. I don't mean it in any kind of animal or animalistic or I'm trying to think of a good word for putting down. Vernacular is better than this, I know, but but that's a good thing. It's a good thing to not forcefully have to depend on others, but if it comes across in your life, take advantage of that. I'm getting a ride to my body of Christ, and tomorrow I'm getting a ride to get my preparation in order, to get my food source from the church outreach, and to be taken to Wally World Mart. Get a few things I need, so maybe some cat food for my Kaya, and maybe go to Aldi, and because that's the best place to shop, honestly, ultimately. Um, and just stock up because you never know if you're not going to be given the chance, and buy the best food. If you don't invest in yourself, who's going to do it for you? How are you going to think, feel, say, act, be if the best if what you could have put in your system is not put in? What I mean by that is if you have the opportunity, say acai bowl, you know what that is, a fruit, A-C-I-A-I, acai, or buy organic, try new things, get those fruits and veggies. Um, you know, it's a person's own personality when it comes to their diet. So people don't think they can change their personality or be something different. But we can always grow and learn to be who we truly think God was meant for it to be. If God's put it on your heart to be so, it is written different ways as such in the good book. Again, crack that thing open. Oh, you won't regret it. I sure haven't. No matter what happens, I know God's got me on all corners, and it's the best feeling alive. It really is. Because once you get away from yourself, you're not trying to be in your own. You're not trying to do your own, where people will just try to couple that with their own opinions, and you feel like left or outcast, and you having to put up that wall within yourself, not to others, of what you think and feel and say. You don't have to put up those inner barriers anymore. You can let go. You can be your best self. This is where I'm. This is where I'm driving home the point here tonight. I think we'll get it now good at 30 minutes, and maybe from there we'll have what I'd like to be better and better podcast doing it this way. Um, so we keep the life simple, and the simple life gifts us with more inner man or woman. good things. I love you all. And like I said, my gratitude isn't felt enough as much as I can convey it. I'll see y'all on the morrow, probably when I get back from the church outreach and the errands I'm going to be running. Love.